So, I'm sure as you're all aware, Kagurabachi is the latest series to enter the world of Weekly Shonen Jump, and it has exploded in popularity recently, becoming somewhat of the Morbius of the manga community, with all types of memes and whatnot of people really talking about the main character Chihiro, or rather, some of the things he said, or the last panel shown in Chapter 1, and I'm sure you all know about that stuff already. But one thing I don't see talked about enough is, well, actual discussions about the series itself. Now, I haven't really seen any other YouTube videos about Kagurabachi, so I'm positive that there are YouTubers actually legitimately talking about the series. But when it comes to other parts of the internet, it's mostly just memes. And I can't say that and I'm not guilty of that because I released a funny video about it right when the first chapter came out. But at least with that, it was related to the chapter itself rather than just memeing hard on Chihiro. But after reading the second chapter, I'm starting to vibe with the series a little more. Like, I enjoyed the first chapter, but I think I'm starting to genuinely become a fan. So I thought I'd make this video just giving my overall thoughts about the series. And, having a more serious topic about it. And yes, I'm aware the thumbnail I made is kind of a meme, but ignore that. But yeah, let's talk about the first two chapters. So, the first chapter I thought was pretty alright, though I did think it had some pacing issues. Though I'm not going to really put it against the manga itself. I feel like when a new manga begins, mangakas are usually pressured to, have the narrative going as fast as possible and not try to have too much exposition. So, whether it's the pressure from the editors or fear themselves or, Shueisha or whatever, I can't really, blame the pacing on, just the mangaka. But that aside, I still, feel the need to talk about how I'm not really a fan of it. But it's not the worst thing in the world. So the chapter starts off with the swordsmith, right? It's two of them. So the dad, Rokuhira, and his son, Chihiro. And I think it's pretty interesting. It's them trying to forge a sword, and Chihiro seems to be following in his father's footsteps and trying to do the same thing. And as the chapter progresses, we see that Rokuhira, he brought over some fish. And I thought, I thought there was just going to be like a funny little thing. It's like, hey, look, I got some fish. And he's even talking to them. Now, I don't know what they're saying, but I'm guessing they must be spitting because Rokuhira's like, yeah, true. Yeah, like them or hate them, those fish be spitting. And Chihiro just gets a little upset because he keeps talking to the fish, and he says that he doesn't really take care of them. Chihiro's the one that really does that. But yeah, as we come to move on, we know that the fish actually have some significance later on. Rokuhira even mentions that, oh, the shop guy said that they're good luck. So the red one attracts good fortune, the black one wards off evil, and the three-colored one, it's supposed to be totally amazing. And I believe him. But yeah, I enjoyed these little fish so much that I made that video about, the whole Rokuhira and the fish. If you guys have seen it, if not, check it out. But yeah, I really like the scene. But yeah, the fish aside, moving forward, we're also introduced to Rokuhira's old friend, Shiba, and we kind of find out that, he used to be a part of some war where he also used to forge katanas for people who were a part of it. And, that's pretty interesting. And, like, as far as, like, we know, he's just a swordsmith and he's just, someone who used to be amazing in a war. And then afterwards, we find out that Chihiro is going to follow in his footsteps and try to make his own katanas. And I'm like, so far, it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Where's it going next? And then afterwards, this is where, like, it just kind of just jumps ahead in time. There's, like, 38 months ahead in the future. And I'm like, what the heck? And as we move forward, we find out that the Yakuza are causing some trouble in the city. And we're introduced to this well-dressed individual who apparently has sorcery. And to be honest with you, that caught me a little off guard. I thought it was mostly just going to be about, like, swordsmen. Like, just traditional swordsmen, like no magic or anything like that, or like sorcery or nothing. So this just caught me aback a bit. Not that I have an issue with it, it just really completely caught me off guard. But yeah, regardless of that, whoever this individual is, he seems to be pretty powerful, and for whatever reason, he's working with the Yakuza, and they seem to have a really good relationship. And that really makes me wonder what exactly the relationship is like, and how exactly they benefit each other. But yeah, as we move on, we see that this guy has a tattoo, which looks pretty cool to me. But yeah, really interested in learning about who this person is, because it does seem like he's likely the main antagonist. And that's when we jump to Chihiro and Shiba and the train, and that's when we get the infamous line, "So every day I start the morning fresh with hatred." But yeah, it seems like during this time, his father was murdered, and it seems like Chihiro is seeking revenge. So he's with Shiba trying to find the Yakuza. And as they do, he just starts barging in and slicing and dicing, which, by the way, the art and the choreography for this fight is really good. Like, that's something I actually should have mentioned earlier. I really do like the art for the series. It's very good. Like, I hella vibe with it. But yeah, as the fighting continues, Chihiro mentions that he can't allow slime like them to wield katanas. And he brings out his sword, and we get this amazing double spread of him just, I guess, summoning, like, giant versions of the fish that he had before. And it just, like, this whole panel just looks incredible, by the way. Like, it looks beautiful. We see the fish swimming about in the air as, like, water, I guess, is just dripping off his blade. It looks really cool. And then afterwards, he literally cuts most of the men in half. And the ones that manage to stay alive, he just goes towards them and slashes them even more. And then that's when we reach the conclusion of the first chapter. He meets up with the Yakuza boss, and he says the infamous line, "Do I seem sane to you? I don't care if they're monsters. I have to cut them down." And thus a meme was born. But that aside, it's an alright first chapter. I just wish we didn't jump so far ahead into the future, like 30 months ish later. Like, I wish we had gotten all the details ahead, and then we find out his motivation to go after the Yakuza. But at the same time, I guess this kind of worked out, because if we had gotten all that in the beginning, it probably wouldn't have been as memed on hard. Because I think one of the big reasons that people are talking about the series in the first place is because of how just of how edgy Chihiro ended up becoming without people really understanding why. So I guess it's like 50-50. I guess it worked out, at least here in the West. But in Japan, it's going to be a whole different ballgame. But yeah, moving on to the second chapter, because I want to talk about this real quick. The second chapter I actually enjoyed more than the first chapter. Here we actually get a little comedic relief from Shiba, where he just becomes Chihiro's hype man. He's like, "Well, there you have it. Got that scum? Seriously, dude. You'd better listen to this guy. I'm here for support." And then Chihiro's like, "Thanks." But yeah, then we come to learn about the Hishaku, who are apparently a small group of sorcerers. And right when we're about to learn more about them, the Yakuza boss here just gets completely effed up. I'm guessing he must be imbued with some sort of magic that allowed him to just die the minute he would even come close to giving out any information. And wow, what a brutal way to go out. But once again, the art looks pretty clean here. But yeah, as Shiba notices what's going on, he teleports the guy that they saved away, and they go right outside. And then Shiba's like, "Chihiro! Oh, good, you're okay." Even though, I'm pretty sure he knew that. But yeah, it's pretty funny. I like Shiba. He's a great character. But yeah, this Yakuza boss he gets messed up. But as the chapters continues, we actually learn what happened between Chihiro and his father. And it seems like the sorcerers showed up and just completely annihilated the man. He killed Rokihiro. And we can see two of the ones who did it, which is the man in the suit, and who assume is just a female accomplice, or just another sorcerer. And unfortunately for Chihiro, not only did his father have to die because of them, but they also showed up and took 6 of their katanas, which were also imbued by sorcery. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but yeah, these blades they're really important. They're capable of doing more than just any type of regular harm that a normal katana would do. Since they're imbued with sorcery, they can cause a lot of damage. So now it's up to them to try to get the swords back. And then we get this like really sad panel of Rokihiro like dying. Or I don't even know if dying is the right word. It seems like he's already dead at this point. And this just really hurts. Like, I know I said it before, but the art is really good. But like this, like, I know it's just a second chapter, but like I felt it. And it's I think it's because the art and how the manga is handled. It's so well done. Like, I feel the emotion coming out of Chihiro's face. Like I feel like the pain he should be feeling. It hurts a lot. And then this really beautiful scene where we see, Chihiro and Okihiro, both of them in the bowl, and we see the fish just swimming about. It's just it's all so beautiful, but it's also tragic at the same time. And that's when we find out that Chihiro's saying, "I'll cut them all down," and we get the motivation right here, and it's very well done. Like, I kind of wish this was in the first chapter, but I'm super grateful it's in the second chapter at least. So like, I aside from that, like, I don't really have any complaints. It's very well done. And moving ahead, we get this beautiful panel of Chihiro sitting next to a window at night with the full moon out. He's out here just looking at his katana, and he sees the fish just floating about it, same way he imagined himself and his father together with the fish in the bowl. It's just really beautiful. It's calming. It's symbolic. It's beautifully told, and I see myself just mesmerized looking at it. There's a type of like beauty and tragedy mixed together in this one panel that I think is executed incredibly well. And it's very weird for me to say this, or maybe weird for you guys to hear. I don't know, but this one panel, it got me hooked into the series already. Like, the first chapter, I liked it. I was okay with it. I wanted to see how it was going to continue. But now, with this chapter, and especially this panel, now I'm invested. Now I'm really interested in seeing how Chihiro's going to get the blades back, how he's going to get his revenge, and how he'll grow as a character, and how his abilities will grow, and exactly what type of things he'll use the fish for, because we know that they all stand for something. It's just, I don't know, I really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, we move on to the final panel, and we learn that, yeah, they're in Tokyo. And Shiba tells Chihiro, "Oh, we have some information. There's been a sighting of someone with an enchanted blade. Let's go." And boom, now we're getting straight into the story. We're getting to find out who has the first blade out of the 6 that's been stolen. And yeah, the second chapter really got me. It's very well done. I'm really excited to see one of the sorcerers that has it. I'm excited to find out how this journey continues. But yeah, overall, Kagurabachi is actually pretty damn good, and I'm really excited to see how the story unfolds. Now, I'm just really hoping that it doesn't end up getting cancelled. I believe this is one of the 3 new series that's going to be in Weekly Shonen Jump. I think I got a glimpse of the other 2, and I haven't really read them. Like, I think they're available to read right now on the app. But so far, like, when I see all 3 of them and I try to compare them, Kagurabachi is the one that looks the most interesting, but to me. But, like I said, that's just me, and of course many people here in the West. But what really matters is Japan, and I really hope Japan manages to like the series. I do know that apparently the memes have spread over there in Japan, or rather they're aware of how hard we're memeing on it. But it's kind of funny seeing the reactions on it, because they're like, oh, they must really like the series because it's about Japanese swords. And I'm like, yeah, it's totally the swords people here in the West are loving and memeing about. But, yeah. Hopefully they end up enjoying it as well, because the series is really on their hands. If they enjoy it and buy the volumes when they release, then I think we'll be pretty set. But if not, well, unfortunately, this will just be another cancelled series I really got into. But yeah, I'm going to hope for the best, and I'm definitely going to try to follow the series. Now, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on every new chapter that releases. We'll see. If that's something you guys want me to do, I'll certainly look into it. But I'm definitely going to be reading it and giving out my reactions on Twitter. But, yeah, we'll see how that goes later on. Let me know what you guys think. Do you enjoy Kagurabachi? Are you just really here for the memes? Or, are you just trying to see if it doesn't get cancelled before checking it out? Because if that's how you are, I just do not blame you. But yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments below, or on Twitter, or wherever. Because I try to read all my comments, and I try to reply to as many people as I can. But yeah, that'll do it for me. Peace out, and take care, everyone.